So it's like, oh, I'm going to be worried when so-and-so is at work. Well, then tell so-and-so he's fired. Now you're at peace, aren't you? Oh, I don't want to have to deal with Bob on the phone. Well, you're not going to call Bob. So there you go. Now you're fine, aren't you? So it's like what your mind does is your mind keeps saying you've got to do all these things, and your emotions go, I don't want to do them. And what you need to say is, okay, fine, when we won't.
Good morning, my friend, and welcome now to Tuesday. Well, it's back to business here in the United States, but I argue you're going to feel in a complete fog. Mercury is retrograde, we just came out of a vortex, and you're reconsidering what matters anyway. From my smartphone to yours, keep streaming for your Tuesday Namaste today. Welcome to Namaste today, a hipster way to start your day. I'm your host and spiritual life coach, Sensei Chris Witecki. I work in the modality of psychic astrology. I'm a spiritual philosopher and a manifester of light. Namaste, my friends, and welcome now to Tuesday. Well, we are back from a 3-day weekend here in the United States of Awareness. And today you may feel not united and not aware. That's because we're coming out of a vortex in opposition with Neptune. And this weekend might have been a cloud, or the last 3 days might have been a cloud for you, because we literally, I believe, we're shifting dimensions. To me, it was a spiritual promotion. Your spirit is being promoted up, but it might have caused a little chaos on Mother Earth, or at least a little disorientedness over the 3-day weekend. So today I'm going to give you 3 questions to ask yourself that kind of help you refocus. But first, let's take a look at your zodiac weather. This zodiac weather is for Tuesday, September 6, 2016. Let's look ahead at the 5-day moodcast. Tomorrow, Wednesday, is going to be sunny and you'll be feeling much more certain. On Thursday, it's sunny and optimistic. And on Friday, it'll be sunny and super serious. But today I predict cloudy and private. Your emotions are most likely feeling very withdrawn today. Now, the Great Human Walk has reached step 14, Virgo. That means the ruling channel is channel 5, I think. And that means the ruling planet is Mercury retrograde. Now, our emotional focus today is withdrawn and guarded. The moon is in Act 2 of Scorpio, so we all have our walls up. And our intellectual focus is reconsidering decisions. Mercury is retrograde at step 26 Virgo. So we're going to look at something we already thought we had decided again. And today, I think coming out of the vortex and having Mercury retrograde, we're all feeling this fog. So in your Megascope, I have 3 questions you can ask yourself to get back on track. But first, steep yourself some tea, and let's have our Tuesday tea time. Hello, my friend, and welcome to our tea time. Today's tea time topic is Tales of Modern Telepathy. And by telepathy, I want to explain the difference between psychic energy and telepathy, because I've definitely come in my own empath awareness starting to see the distinctions and why humans get confused also. First of all, psychic awareness, let's say, comes from the mothership, creator, or source energy. And psychic energy comes through the crown. Literally comes in like bling, like an email down from space. That's what it kind of feels like, comes in. In fact, our mind, which is Gemini, half of it is logical and half of it is intuitive. So half of our mind actually is always looking for intuitive, and our logical mind is just assuming that it comes up with the answer. It's not looking at where it came from. All right? Now, telepathy, in my opinion, is different in the sense that it is person to person, kind of in the vortex of reality. So it's like a message that goes from person to person. I don't think it goes up to creator and back down again. I think it's like right there, right here on Earth. And I've had many examples of telepathy, but I'll point one out to you that you can't deny. Have you ever been driving down the road and suddenly looked to the left and the person in the car next to you turned and looked to you at the exact same time, driving 65, 85 miles an hour down the road, right? On buses, in different places. To me, that's a telepathic ping. It's like that's telepathy in my opinion. It's almost like a ping, like a ding dong, And I think I'm not sure who rang who, okay, like when they both turn, but there's definitely that moment. So that's something everyone has experienced. Another modern telepathic thing is obviously with text messages, with the advent of the cell phone and stuff, and people all having a cell phone on their hip. We haven't talked about this, but the reality of it is that because communication is so sped up, we literally can think of somebody and then text them a second later and they get the message a second later. So we literally are having instant communication in the real world or with our logic side, which might be inspired with our intuitive side. So all of us have been like thinking of someone and then bing, get a text message right there, right? Comes right in as soon as you're thinking about them. I have a friend that I'm so linked to. In fact, that's one of my little telepathic stories today. I have a friend that we're just like wired on a mission this lifetime. So like we are very connected, and I literally, as far as text messages, I'll think about them and like, bing, it'll come right in. Like at the moment I'm thinking, it's that synchronous with this particular person. And when we were young, I remember there was this story I'm going to tell you where there was no, and I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again because it's telepathy. I think it's telepathy. I don't think it's psychic, which is literally, that was time during pagers. So we had pagers, and my buddy got a call for a job, but his pager was off, and he was out in the world, and I was like, oh my God, he needs this job, he needs to pay rent. So I literally got on my knees and prayed, like, dude, you need to call home. And in 5 minutes, the phone rang. It was him. He was like, what's up, dude? What's the matter? And I was like, dude, why did you call me? He's like, I don't know, dude, I just felt like I should. And I'm like, really? Like, it was almost like a radar. If you watch MASH, like, really? Like, you really just felt like you had to pull over and you did? You know what I mean? Like, that alone freaked me out. But with him, a couple of moments, that was one example. There are many times with him where I will literally pray and, like, and dude will call in. So, and I had experiences with him as well. I've also had incredible telepathy with conversations. So, like, I have friends who are kind of psychic. Well, I have friends who are psychic. Like what I'm saying, I have psychic friends, lots of psychic friends, and literally, it's like I'll be talking to somebody on the phone or something in my life, and my friend who's psychic will like text me, during the conversation. And this is another because of modern technology, you can get many messages at once, right? So a friend will text me and they'll be like, "Hey, I'm picking up this, this, and this right now. Who are you talking to?" It's like, whoa, like, again, I think that's kind of telepathy too, because it's almost like they heard the conversation going on and whatnot. So modern telepathy to me is getting really interesting, and I think, I have been. I'll wrap up this little segment with one last one, and that's that I always consciously, telepathically send my messages to my viewers, and I always consciously say for my third eye to send it to your third eye. I've often said broadcasting in 5 dimensions. That's what I meant. Is I've always been very good at throwing an image into another person's consciousness, especially if they've said, "Hey, I want to hear what you have to say." And in readings and whatnot, sometimes it gets so intimate with the spiritual working together, over a call or something. I literally I'm visualizing these things and sending them to them, and my readers are actually describing to me back the image that I'm sending to them. So that is imagination. But when you are a broadcaster and you understand how this world works, you can do some fun stuff in communicating with people and images. And, I think, that happens with people who are lovers and whatnot, like, you'll have a joke, or, someone you're very close to, you'll have a joke, and, both of you see it the same way, and both of you talk about it. And it's so funny because you both see it the same way. And again, you're both seeing that telepathic, I think, mutual image. I think we're actually perhaps seeing the damn same thing. Interesting, huh? So cheers to that telepathy. I think it's going to be open today. with Mercury retrograde and step 5 rule day. I think a lot of telepathy is open because the channels are switched, so we're just picking up on stuff that we normally would have ignored when our minds were so chatter. And I'm going to take a sip of tea and then take 3 breaths and give you what I call the megastope, which is me just giving you a little scope for the day from my guides and what they spiritually want to add to the equation. Oh, that tea helps, I'll tell you. Okay. So, very interesting dimension that Spirit brings today, and that is that, step 14 means I love and I belong. And in essence, what's happening is today you are very quietly, emotionally deciding that you belong somewhere else. I think your mind has thought it before, but you haven't felt it. And so today you're going to feel where you belong. You may not be where you belong, even though you feel where you belong. In fact, that's likely. Most people will be like, I don't belong here, and they think they feel they belong there. And of course, okay, there's your pilgrimage right there is going to be to go to where you know you belong and where you feel you belong. So today it's almost deliberate that everything is so foggy with your normal senses because you want to use the force of your feelings and feel where you belong. Now I have 3 questions to ask yourself to help you triangulate your spirit today. Question number 1. What would restore balance to your life? Looking at the planets, the universe wants you to restore balance, so that's definitely a clue of where you should go, where you need to restore balance. Question 2, where do you belong? Okay, and you apply this to, it's like, well, at work, where do you belong? Well, at home, where do you belong? Where in the relationship, where do you belong? Like, whatever you're facing, you ask your heart, where do I really belong? And be non-attached to what it tells you. Question 3. What's in integrity in your life? Okay, so everything should be in integrity, and wherever you belong will be in integrity. Integrity means you're honoring everything in your heart and you're not lying to yourself. All right, so integrity is a clue. Jupiter's at step 29 and promoting integrity today. Now for those, oh, look at that, Bella, she just hopped up. For those watching my personal Sensei service, today I'm going to give you a pep talk on crossing bridges, the power of step 12, because we are all ready to cross a bridge now, and a lot of people are apprehensive and don't know why. I'll give you a little clues on why people are apprehensive and help you across that bridge today. And after 3 o'clock, I'll tell you for your eye candy where you need to open up. Venus in Libra is saying open up. I'll tell you where you need to according to your natal chart data. For those for those who are watching on YouTube, Mercury retrograde, please be kind and do subscribe. I'll thank you ahead of time. And if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, the handle is CWateki. And if you'd like to know more about the bright star you really are, come on down to SeriousJoy.tv. I've created this most incredible artificial intuitive technology that watches over your stories and watches over you. See what I'm talking about at SeriousJoy.tv. All right, friend, welcome back. We are going to come into clarity in the next 24 hours. Be self-compassionate, just be gentle and give yourself time and space. Remember, Sensei loves you, and live, love, be.